Obviously, anytime you go on the road and win is big. And I think going to UMass and winning gave us confidence to go on the road and compete to win today. I thought we both teams made an adventure on how not to pass the ball in the first half. I think we settled down some at halftime and didn't turn it over. I don't think they turned it over much in the second half. That's what scoring was somewhat up. But, I got no idea how we did it other than our defense. And the one thing that's been dragging for us this year, which is perimeter shots. I think we made 4 or 5 threes in the last 5-6 minutes of the game, which allowed us to hang on for life.
Frank, you talked after the Houston game about not being able to get a big shot late to kind of put teams away. Feels like you got some big shots now. Just how good did that feel to see some of those go in for you?
Yeah, Colin, we didn't make shots against Houston, and we dug ourselves a hole, and we battled the whole game to get out of the hole. Just like today, our defense was kind of hit and miss in the second half. You know, we're getting beat off the dribble too much. But we were able to score. Coach Sar, I didn't think Mike played very well in the first half. I thought Mike was tremendous in the second half. And that's what you need from seniors, because he's rock solid defensively, but we need him to be more aggressive on offense. And I haven't been very happy with Jair and Alonzo. They're great kids, but I haven't been happy with the energy and enthusiasm that they've been trying to play with. I don't think neither one's been very passionate about the opportunity. I have no idea why, because I was around those guys last year and they weren't like that last year. But give them credit. They in the second half they both played with tremendous energy and courage and helped us win.
Coach, 8 of 18 from 3. Jair hit a couple big ones. You haven't shot that well all season from 3. How big was that for you today?
Yeah, one of the reasons I moved Jair off the ball was to get him more opportunities from the perimeter. I don't think playing at the point, the way people are defending us, I think it was real difficult to get him shots. By putting AJ at the point, I think it puts the ball in the hands of AJ, who's very aggressive on offense, and then allows us to be more aggressive as we run. We just need Jair's a shot maker. Jair can really shoot the basketball. We need him to. I keep using the word aggressive. It's not. He's just got to have an enthusiasm for what we're doing, a sense of like, come on, And he's a laid-back kid in life, and I'm asking him to be aggressive on the court. And so somehow, some way, we will figure each other out and get to a happy medium, I guess. But Jermaine can shoot. Jermaine made a big 3. Jermaine hasn't made a 3 since Cleveland State, I think. And he made a big 3 in a crucial possession of the game because they were kind of scoring and they kept scoring, and if we hadn't scored, then they might score again, and now it's 5 and it's different, but we kept that game at that 8, 9, 7, 10, 12, and but proud of those guys for making shots.
Putting AJ at point, which is one of the things you did differently today. I mean, including I think Nathan Nelson was the second guy off the bench. You zoned a little more today. Well, was that just a product of the self-scouting you guys did over this break, or was that for this particular matchup?
Yeah, a lot of what we talked about early in the week when we met. I'll talk about when I met with you guys. We really utilized. I felt like a football coach. I can kind of self-evaluate for a couple days because we weren't concerned with the next opponent immediately. I'm not. Most math guys aren't very smart because we deal with numbers, so we don't understand how to read very well. But I'm not the dumbest guy in the room either. Whatever we were doing was not being very productive. So I thought we had to make some changes and credit the guys because no one hung their head. And Nathan's been great in practice, and he deserved the right to play.
How about Hannibal's 16 minutes off the bench and his overall presence?
Right. That's one of the things that I re-evaluated last Sunday and Monday. He's got to grow up. He still thinks he's in high school, so sometimes he just zones out in the middle of a possession, and you have no idea why. But he brings an athleticism, an aggression, an enthusiasm that we were lacking. Once again, I spent some time with him this week because We had a long 6 days, so you can actually engage in conversations that are not just about winning and losing games. It's about them. And I thought he's had the most consistent week of practice he's had in a while. But we need his enthusiasm. Now, coaches don't like playing freshmen too much because they kind of have breakdowns. Their focus is not as good as it needs to be. That's why so many teams with so many freshmen don't win very often, or as often as they should. It's rewarded that way. But he brings an enthusiasm that our team was lacking in. He played well, and then he started cramping, and then I got no idea why he cramped.
3 more
On
questions.
Thursday, you brought up, and you were hopeful that a game like this could bring some of that out. Did you see more of that today?
That's why I changed some stuff around. Like I'm not a very good basketball coach when I'm around passive people. I'm not a good worker when I'm around passive people. I need people that play with aggression and enthusiasm and discipline and the challenge to grow. And I didn't think we were doing that real well. And that's why I changed some stuff around, because I need to be able to coach. I need to be able to help teams win during games, not fight guys to play with more enthusiasm and more discipline. And, so I thought we played with some, defensively, I thought we were a lot better than we've been lately. We had some breakdowns, but that's going to happen when you play an ACC school. They made the plays and attacked us, but we didn't allow a breakdown to create a draining of enthusiasm from the team. We had guys encouraged. There was one timeout that I got after somebody pretty good in the timeout, and the players were big time. They picked each other up. They got to me like, come on, man, let's go win this thing. And I haven't had that in a month, and it was fun to be around that.
What happened?
Ending a 3-game losing streak to your in-state rival, what kind of confidence does your team get just from that win emotionally?
Yeah, it's. I think our guys were excited about playing this game. They usually are. I think we as a staff did a better job of making our guys understand the importance of this game. Everything in life is about, not so much about what I care about, but what's important to others that are with me. And I think this game's very important to a lot of people. And I've probably done a real bad job my first 7 years of representing that to our players, who the majority are not from South Carolina. And I think our staff did a much better job with that this year. And I think our guys understood that we just lost by 20 at home to Houston. And like I told the media on Monday, we're all right. We're 6-4. We got 2 great opportunities at 2 ACC schools. At the end of the year, they look at those games and I said, those 2 road wins are really good. Well, we figured this one out. And it's awesome. When you can play against your in-state rival, it's a tremendous opportunity. Obviously, it's a pride game. It's something that means a lot to a lot of people. So hopefully there's a lot of Gamecocks that are happy today.
What happened there at the end of the game?
Saw out of some of those changes today. Do you anticipate keeping some of those things going forward?
Yeah, no doubt. Keyshawn Bryant's a personality. Doesn't mean he plays right. Doesn't mean he played great. But the one thing with Key is Keyshawn gives us personality. I had to get that on the court. AJ, even though he's a passive with his voice, he's aggressive with his game. I had to put the ball in his hands so we can create more of a personality, and that's why we did that. So I feel like a football coach. I get to reevaluate our team today and tomorrow, and then we'll figure out sometime on Wednesday what direction we're going in moving forward. If some of these changes need to be permanent. But I can tell you 20 minutes removed from the game, it's the first time in a while where we play with some personality, and I really enjoyed that.
What happened there at the end of the game? Just
I got
emotional.
no idea. I can tell you what I was told, but you know how life works? Because I'm shaking Brad's hand, so I got no idea what's going on behind me. But you know how life works. When you start telling people what someone, here, let me get it better for you, since this is what our country's dealing with right now. When you start telling the media what someone else told you, then you create a dossier, and it creates a bad communication. I don't want to be that guy that signed off on that dossier. So I got no idea what happened behind me. It's a competitive game, and so Brad does an incredible job. We've done this 8 years now against each other. class program, nothing but class. We've never had a situation, obviously something happened behind me. I had to go television, I had to address my team, I had to come in here, so I haven't asked anybody what happened, but I'll tell you what I did like, when I turn around, Jair, who I've been real mad about being passive, was being aggressive. Now, if he started something, I'll deal with him for that. But there was nothing there. That's just two teams that are competitive, and the game ends, there's a lot of emotion.